So the developers of Inkstitch are awesome and amazing. I have said that on several occasions, many occasions. And this is no less. This is just another one of those occasions where I'm going to go all out kudos on the Inkstitch developers. This is outstanding. What I'm running is the development version of Inkstitch. This is the next coming Inkstitch, not released yet. I don't have a date on the next release yet, but this is a preview into the stuff that's coming for us in Inkstitch. Some of this is just off the wall amazing. Two amazing things. Everything's great. Two just amazing things. I'm going to go in order, relatively speaking. The first thing is if you go under extensions, under extension gallery, and you select Inkstitch, you do have an Inkstitch gallery now where you can click on the tools here, and it's right up here in the same toolbar as everything else. And you can just double click on it, or you can click on it and then select run. Either one. So that is very, very cool. We're going to go more or less in order. Inkstitch commands are the same, cut work segments are the same, edit. There's two new entries in edit. One of those is remove duplicate points. The other one is selection to anchor line. Not sure what the anchor line is. I don't have any documentation on that yet. But the remove duplicate points, I can show you that. So if I click and then click that same spot again, and then click and then move ever so slightly, click again, and then come on around. Now theoretically I selected that last one twice because of closing it. So that's going to come into play. If I go in here, I'm gonna bump this up a little bit so you can see these lines better. But using the node tool, if I slide this off, you can see that there's another node right underneath that one because I made two. And if I zoom way in, you can see there's two right here, very close together. And it's selected. I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to remove duplicate. So just type duplicate, remove duplicated points. So on the default of remove duplicated points, the distance tolerance is 0.01 millimeter. It's very, very close together. It basically has to be on top of each other, which is why I did this little, obviously moved just a little bit. I hit apply. It is going to remove that last one because you did select that one twice technically. But this duplicate is now gone, but that one is still there. So if I run that again and I set this up, I'm going to exaggerate a little bit, 1 mil, and I hit apply. Now it didn't remove that. So apparently that's closer. I'm going to run that again and I'm going to hit apply. And now it got rid of that because it was within that tolerance. And then to close that off, all I got to do is reuse the pen tool and then you can close that off. Easy peasy. So we'll go into Inkstitch. The other one is selection to anchor line. I don't know what that one does yet, but I'll let you know as soon as I do. Font management, this is all the same. Lettering, used to be lettering, and then lettering along path was right underneath it. They have joined those into their own subgroup, but they are the same thing. Under params, I can't tell that there's anything new in params as far as I can tell. Preferences are the same. Thread color management the same. Under tools fill, here's where it starts getting fun. Here's where our new toys come. Selection to knockdown fill. This one is awesome. So let's get rid of this. Let's go into our lettering tool. And let's make something like so. I'm going to drag this down. Now, say we're stitching something on a high pile, very, very fluffy, loose fabric kind of thing, and we want to do a knockdown. Well, we can do it automatically now. We go into Tools Fill, Selection to Knockdown Fill, hit Apply, hit Close. Now, the lettering I did is black, and this knockdown is also black, so it looks really kind of ugly right at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to select my lettering, and the knockdown will always be underneath what you're knocking down automatically, so that is awesome. I'm going to select my lettering, and I'm going to make that a different color that we can see easily. And there it is. Now, if we go in here and we do a preview, simulate, we can see what that looks like. You see it's very not filled, which is what a knockdown should be. If we get rid of that knockdown, let's go into the lettering. We'll make that a different color that you can see a little better. There we go. You can see that a little better. Let's make that another font. And I want to select that one. Let's go with that. Hit apply and quit. Now let's do that knockdown again. Extensions, Inkstitch. Under Tools Fill, selection of Knockdown Fill. If we select Keep Holes, we got Method Round, and that's pretty much our only help. Offset, the 1.0 offset is how big it's going to be, and I'll show you that in a minute. Hit Apply. So that's what it looks like if you keep holes. I'm going to undo. Select that again. Extensions, Inkstitch. Under Fill, Tools Fill, selection to Knockdown. I'm going to make that, I'm going to leave that the same number, but I'm going to unselect Keep Holes, hit Apply. Now I no longer have a hole. And if I do it one more time, I might as well do it from here. Now I'm going to set that a little bigger. Let's exaggerate like crazy and go 5. Now you can see it is much bigger now. And if we go in here and we make our lettering a little more obvious, there it is. That's what it looks like. Let's select that knockdown, go into params. Now you can see what it looks like real up close. And you see that all of the horizontal lines intersect the X's of the vertical X. Now, if we change spacing between rows, it is going to change that because this is all by default, and by default they're going to cross on the X. But if we change a number, it no longer crosses on the X's. So just keep that in mind. But that's what your knockdown fill looks like. I absolutely love that. Let's hit delete. Next thing, extensions Inkstitch. Under fill, we did selection knockdown. If we go to satin, the next new thing is fill to satin. It's exactly what it sounds like. This is amazing. So let's draw something out. Okay, I'm going to make sure there is no stroke around it. It has to be fill only. We're going to set that to fill. Now you have to make rungs or it's not going to figure it out. But this is a fill that we're going to put rungs on. And now when we select everything, we can go into fill satin. You have options of start and at rung, and you have your pull compensation options. The default is 0. I've already changed that to 0.2. And a zigzag, you have the, I think center walk underlay is default, I think. I've already changed it, so I don't know. Hit apply. Hit close. So there is your satin from a fill stitch. How cool is that? Oh my goodness, that is so amazing. That is cool. I made that a fill stitch and now it's a satin stitch automatically. How cool is that? Okay, so I do want to show you one thing for sure. I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to go back to fill to satin. If I do start and end at rung, it's going to cut off the outer edges of this, and it's going to start and end at these two rungs. Hit apply. So you can see that it cut most of that off. Hit close, and we're going to delete that. So how's this really handy? Let's do letter. We're going to do a letter C. This does have its limitations, so keep this in mind. But we're going to do a letter C. You make sure you do path object to path on your system letters. I'm going to select everything. To fill the satin, make sure you do not start and end at a rung. Hit apply. We have our letter C. That easy. Crazy. Amazing. Love it. Absolutely love it. Now, again, it does have its limitations. So let's see how well an L works. See how that's kind of different. Let's see how well an L works. So we want this, and this, and this, and then we want this down here. Like so. What's going to happen? Well, first of all, don't forget your object path. Now let's see what happens. Fill the satin. Hit apply. A whole lot of it disappeared is what happened. So where it disappeared, they're doing a thing it's called bridging. If it's going to disappear on you, you need to do a bridge. And I'm not 100% sure on how the bridge works, but what you do is you build a bridge. Such as the places it disappeared, this rung to this rung disappeared. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a bridge. And there's our bridge. And from this rung to this rung also disappeared, so we're going to draw a bridge. So now it should work. That's our bridge. Let's see if it works now. There it is. You'll have to do some adjustment afterwards. But there's our bridge. How cool is that? That is so cool. I'm pretty sure that they don't come together good. And I have noticed that sometimes these stitch twice. So if I take that one all by itself, that one's stitching twice. I'm not sure why. I can't find a repeat. So this might be something that I'm going to enter as a bug if it's not already entered. And we'll figure it out. But again, there are some limitations. I'm not sure if that's a bug or if I'm just not doing it right. But we'll find out. I would about guess that I'm not doing it right, to be honest. Okay, so let's move on. That is so cool. Fill to satins. It's just crazy awesome. All right. I think everything else here is the same. One thing to notice different is we used to have, what was it? Under tools stroke, we used to have convert line to satin. That has moved to satin. Now it's stroke to satin, which is the same as convert line to satin. So keep that in mind. Stroke, I think this is all the same. Troubleshoot's all the same. Visualize is all the same. So I think all those are the same. Only thing left now to do is we're going to take a look at the new fonts. And we have several new fonts to have a look at. The first one being, we're going to go in alphabetical order to best of my knowledge. First one we're looking at is bar stitch. We have several different bar stitches. The bar stitch bold is the first one. And then Cloudy is the second one. That Cloudy is so cool. Look how many colors are in that. Color changes. If you're single needle, it's going to drive you insane. But in 11,000 stitches, wow, that's a lot. All right, bar stitch mandala. This is one of my favorites. That is very cool. And then bar stitch regular. Bar stitch textured. I'm fond of this one because this is like the meander fill and the satin stitch around the outside that I've done for quite some time now, so I like that one. Matter of fact, I don't have my hat handy, but my Low-Tech Linux hat is done with that. Not that bar stitch, but the one that I made. Let's see. Next one would be califragilistic. That is very hippie looking. Very cool. Next one is Cogs Core. And that's cool because it's got like cogs of a gear on that rounded part. Next one's Decadent Flowers. This is a monogram type. Very cool. Wow. Detail. And that is amazing. Look at that. Crazy, man. I want to look at that. Oh my goodness, that's huge. Can't imagine how many stitches are in that. That is beautiful. That would be great for just 1 or 2 letters. That's amazing. All right, let's go back into lettering. From Decadent Flowers, the next one is Inkstitch Masigo. And then the next one is Magnolia Tamed. Beautiful. I love that. Bicolor. The next one is Malika. System crashed on me last time I tried Malika. See what it does. So far no crash, but it is not stitching anything. Or Arabic satin font. Wonder if I... Yeah, it's not coming up anything. Go Mimosa. Mimosa will be the next one, medium and large. Go large. We'll skip the medium because it's going to be the same thing, just smaller. Okay. And then Pixel 10. And you just never know how long to wait because some of these take a while. Pixel 10 should be pretty simple. Shouldn't take long. You pick another one and we'll go back to it. Next one is Sunset. And Sunset looks like it'd be one of those that would take a while. You know, I don't know if I'm locked up or not. I think I am. Okay, let's get out of that. Let's try again. I'm thinking it was stuck. Let's go back to, I'm going to blame it on Malika, so let's go back to Mimosa. Okay, Mimosa worked. Let's go back to Pixel 10. Breaking the system. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's start over. We're on Pacifico. We're going to stay there because we know that works. Banding. Let's go back down to To sunset. There we go. That's pretty cool. Do I dare try to pixel 10 again? Okay, I'm just going to let it run for a minute. And then if it works, we're just going to continue on. If it don't, I'm going to say pixel 10 is broken. All right, I walked away and came back. Pixel 10 is broken. I will see what I can do about that in the GitHubs. Next one is Western Light. All right, we're going to start over again. Lettering. Western Sunset. Okay. Everything else is new. A lot of these are foreign, and I don't know how they'll come up or not. Fair. All right, so some of these fonts may or may not be ready for public consumption yet. And these little bugs that I'm finding is why we don't have a release yet. They want to fix these little bugs that I'm finding that the testers like myself are finding and get those squashed before they release to the public. Make sure it's a good, happy flow. So I'm going to I'm going to do some digging around GitHub, see if some of these are already being reported on. If not, I'll see what I can find out. But anyway, that is a preview into the development version of things to come. Man, it's looking good. Oh my goodness, it's looking so good. But that's it. Closing in on 10,000 subscribers on YouTube's. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, I'd greatly appreciate it if you did, and if you already have, I greatly appreciate that you have. If you have made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. And that's all for this video, and until next time, thanks for watching.